To all of the remote listeners on SoundBird. As Lance said, my name is Pete. I will be your mama bird today. And the regurgitated worm that I'll be feeding you is some live stand-up comedy. So thank you so much. We are coming to you from the beautiful backyard of Lance in San Mateo. You can't see, but there's some delightful foliage, beautiful flowers. Makes it feel like I'm on a SoundBird of paradise. Okay, all right, okay. We gotta do a little SoundBird material just to start. First ever SoundBird comedy show. I love porches. Anyone here got a porch? Guess not. All right, there we go. I don't need to make friends. Yeah. This is doing it for me, honestly. I feel like every time I step on a porch, I just immediately feel like I'm a Southern belle, you know. Sundress flapping in the breeze, sipping a sweet tea, about to get picked up for a date at the soda fountain by some guy named Chester, right? I love porches so much, I started following #porches on Instagram. Huge, great follow, would recommend. I've learned a lot following #porches. Like, you know who's really bad at spelling? People who own Porsches. They ruin my feed. I'll be chilling, I'll be swiping through, looking at a sweet North Carolina double-decker. You got some hammocks on the top, you got a fireplace down below because it's get cold in the winter. And then I'll go to the next one, and it's just some guy's vehicle. And they go crazy with the hashtags. They're like, just got my dream car, #dream car, #Porsche Cayenne, #Porsche 911, $700,000, #drinking and driving, my wife did not want me to make this purchase, #Mitt Romney, #Porsche, spelled correctly, #porches. Figure it out, man. I follow #owls too, the #bulls. People leave us well alone. It's just not that hard, honestly. I've been dating a bit. Anybody getting back out there, dating a bit? Not so much, just me. All right, well, let me let you know how it's going. It's been all right. I was seeing someone last year who was a bit of a food aficionado, restaurant aficionado, and I learned this on one of our first dates. We went to this restaurant called Brooks, and before we went in, we were standing outside, and she was like, "Hey, have you been here before?" And I was like, "No." And she was like, "Okay, wow. I can't wait for you to lose your Brooks virginity tonight." And I was like, "Yeah, me too, but I thought your name was Sarah." She didn't take kindly to, so single man now. Getting back out there. I'm on the dating apps, which doesn't seem like anyone's on those. Let me say I don't recommend it. It's kind of not a great place to be, honestly, not a good way to spend your time. But my goal on the dating apps is honestly just to not be creepy. A lot of creepy guys. I'm trying to be a cut above. So here's what I do. I use this app called Hinge, right? And on Hinge, instead of swiping right on the whole person, you can pick and choose which picture you like to, tell her that you like, right? And so, like, if I'm scrolling through a girl's profile, and let's say she's got a picture where she is in a bikini and she's looking sexy, I will not like that photo. It's like, sorry, babe, I know you wanted me to look at your hot bod, but I was too focused on how well-traveled you are and your nuanced opinions about pineapple on pizza. So, nice try. A couple years ago, I spent an afternoon at the Church of Scientology. Yeah, great date spot. Would recommend it. No, I was there because I was hanging out with my friend one day, and we walked by the San Francisco Church of Scientology, and they had a sign out front that said, "Free personality test today." And I'm a big personality test guy, right? So I was like, well, I already know I'm an ENTP, an Enneagram Type 8, a Scorpio, and a Ravenclaw. But I have no idea what kind of alien overlord worshiper I'd be, right? Well, let's check it out. So we headed on in. We sit down. They give us the test. Seems like a pretty standard test. They have 100 statements. You answer agree, neutral, disagree to each of them, right? But as I was reading through, I noticed they threw in some pretty unsettling statements in there, right? There was this one that said, "If I could, I would like to make no decisions for myself for the rest of my life." Saw that and I was like, agree, I've been on a cruise before. I figured it'd be a lot like that. Let's see what this does for my personality, So at some point I handed in the test, and then they did the, whatever tabulation they have to do. And then a guy was bringing it back over, and he was like, "I got to tell you, it is not looking good." And I didn't even know that was one of the options. So he comes over, and here's how they do it. So they give you a score on 7 different personality traits on a scale of -100 to +100. And my scores were pretty bad. It was like intelligence, -72. confidence, negative 54. I only did well on one personality trait that was active. I got like a 55 on active. And so I asked the guy, I was like, 55 on active. That's got to be pretty good, right? And he was like, yeah, well, normally it would be pretty good, but because you did so poorly on everything else, this means that you will be active, but most of your actions are going to be very undesirable. I was like, well, you're not wrong, good sir, but still ouch. What can I do about this, right? How can I fix this? And he was like, don't worry about it, man. I used to be just like you, which is not what you want to hear. But then he goes, but I was able to turn my life around. I read this book called Dianetics, and it's amazing. Really allowed me to see things clearly for the first time. And we actually sell it here today for just $19.99 if you're interested. And I was like, no, thank you. And then I walked out. I met back up with my friend, and I was talking to him. I was like, yeah, no, it's kind of like messed up how they do this, where they just tell you bad things about yourself, make you feel bad about yourself, manipulating you into thinking there's something wrong with you and that they can fix you, right? And I think that, you know, if I was a little dumber, a little more insecure, I think I probably would have bought the book. And then I look at my friend's test. He did amazing. He got like great scores on all the personality traits. They didn't even try to sell him the book. They just gave him like a high five and a lollipop and send him on his way. So I'm a Scientologist now. Let me know if you'd like to get your life in order. Talk to me after the show. All right. You guys ready for an excellent comedy show? All right. Your next comedian coming to the stage. He was in SF Sketchfest. He runs Dope Show Comedy in the Bay Area. My friend, give it up right now for Murad Shaki.
Thank you, Pete, for leaving the mic stand at a very emasculating height. Thank you. Actually, for the people listening on SoundBird, I'm actually 6'5", and I've been described as like a more masculine George Clooney. And just in case anybody's wondering what I look like, I have a very big, bushy beard, and I have a dreamy vibe. How's it going, guys? To the motherland. I'm calling myself trash. That's what I'm doing. Okay, cool. Camera 2. Are we happy? It seems like the pandemic's kind of over, right? Are we happy about that? Do we believe? Okay. Skeptical-ish crowd. You're like, we're going to be back in our houses in 6 months. Don't get too excited, dude. Enjoy the summer. It's weird. I'm seeing people like, did you just say variance really quickly? A mind fuck in the middle of a positive bit. Variance. God. It's cool. It's like, it's weird. I'm so used to seeing to hating anti-maskers and being like against what they stand for, and now I see people going to bars without masks, and my instinct is to be like, hey, wear a fucking mask. And then I realize, wait a second, this was the goal the whole time. We were trying to get better so we wouldn't have to wear masks. But now when I see people wearing masks, it's very confusing, because it's like, okay, why would you be wearing a mask unless you weren't vaccinated yet? So you're anti-vax, but you don't think COVID is a hoax because you're wearing the mask. That's a very confusing person to hate. You know what I mean? Like, anytime I see somebody wearing a mask now, I'm like, hey. In case you guys forgot, my name's Murad. It's very nice to be here. Thank you guys for having me. It's a weird name, I know, goes with a weird look. In Arabic, it means wished for, and at the airport, it means randomly selected. Seems like a sweet thing to name your kid, right? Murad, wished for, that's so nice. Only I just found out that I beat my mom's IUD, so how wishful was I, lady? You know? I'd be like, I just came out of the womb holding that IUD like a trophy, like, you tried to stop me, bitch! I got out! Okay, back half of the backyard is cool with me calling my mom a bitch. Front half, little less convinced. I know things aren't going very well for me right now because my therapist keeps ending all of our sessions by saying, hang in there, man. Which, that feels like cheating. That's not even real advice anymore. I feel like that dude just Google imaged motivational posters, saw a little kitten hanging from a tree branch, and he was like, that's what I'll tell him. And then he wrote me a prescription to keep on trucking, so that's how things are going for me. Okay, you guys didn't like that one? That's fine. So, half you guys are wearing headphones. Do you guys know what ASMR is? ASMR, I feel like ASMR is one of the biggest signs of how anxious and stressed out we are as a society, that it's such a popular form of entertainment. For those of you that don't know, ASMR is just long videos of good sounds. And they'll get millions and millions of views. Like one good, like, popular ASMR video will have like 7 million views. That's the margin by which Biden won the presidency. Is like one eating popcorn. That's how popular it's gotten. Maybe I should just do an ASMR. Should I just do mouth sounds in the microphone? Oh, people in the back are really upset. I have so much power. Hey, how's it going? Does it sound good? I'm gonna whisper the rest of my set. Okay, no, I'm not gonna do that. I can't remember what the fuck I was talking about. I'm glad the pandemic's over. I'm glad I'll be done with COVID dating. Did anybody here go on dates during COVID? A lot of us did. There's no shame. There's a little shame. There's a lot of shame. I'm so glad I'm done with COVID dates. I'm so glad, like, hey, meet me in a park. Do you want a person I've never met before? This is great. Meet me by the oak tree in the moonlight. It's going to be romantic, you know? But during COVID, actually, I met a nice lady. We made things official recently. Sometimes people clap. You guys don't love love. That's fine. That's a true story. But I was kind of into it because I'm a dirty little immigrant boy and I need to be punished, you know? Like a lot of you, I was really scared this country was slowly descending into fascism, you know? Get stressed out about it, especially during that insurrection we all forgot about as a nation already. You remember that? Remember all those flabby nerds in face paint and costumes outside the Capitol building? Looked like a racist Comic-Con, you know? I remember trying to talk to my dad in the middle of it, like, because I was stressed out, worried the country was falling apart. And but I forgot, I have hard-ass immigrant parents that have seen some shit already, and they were like, "Oh, your first dictator? That's cute, aw." I'm a relationship guy. I'm not a hookup guy, and I feel like that's a weird thing to admit as a dude, because saying you're a relationship guy as a man kind of just feels like code for I can't get laid. But like when you say you're not a hookup guy or an open relationship guy in a city as like sexually progressive as San Francisco, people are like, they almost treat it like it's kinky. Like, oh, you like one-on-one exclusive relationships, you weirdo control freak pervert, you know? All right, middle of the joke was more strong. This is good data. Thank you, SoundBird.
Safe space.
I know the way I look confuses people. I know people hearing this can't really tell, but I'm very racially ambiguous. I feel like I've confused people my whole life. I feel like any time I go into a room full of new people, they treat me like a riddle they're trying to solve. Like I'm a game. They're just trying to guess what country I'm from. They look me up and down, and they're like, how do I hate this guy properly? How... I want to give him the right racism, you know? But people fuck up. I get a lot of misplaced racism. I take a lot of L's for the Jews, specifically. I'm not Jewish, but boy, people can't seem to tell. I've confused people my whole life. I remember back in high school, we had a CIA recruiter stop by, because that's okay. He singles me out and says, see, we'd recruit somebody like you, because we could stick you anywhere. Brazil, Egypt, Middle Earth, Atlantis, Wakanda, maybe Wakanda. We'll get back to you on Wakanda. All right, guys, thank you so much. This has been my time. My name is Murad Shaki. So excited to bring up your next comic. She's a very good friend of mine. Everybody, please make it nice and loud for Brooke Heineken.
Thank you. Keep it going on the app for Murad Shaki, everybody. Are we having fun? I'm so excited to be here. Are we happy to be doing stuff again? I quarantine was fun for like a few weeks and then it sucked. Like I missed the part of the quarantine at the start when we were all in it together. We were like baking bread and trying to figure out if Carol Baskin killed her husband or not. And I gotta say, after being inside with my boyfriend for a year, I get why she did it. I have been wearing a flower crown around our apartment just as a warning. I don't need the tigers. I'm gonna eat him. It'll save me. It'll save me a trip to Costco. But I'm happy to be here. Are we vaccinated, everybody? On the app? Yeah, we vaccinated? Throw it in the comments. I'm going to tap so I can see the comments. I got vaccinated. Yay, whatever. I mean, technically it was Botox, but either way, I'm going to live forever. No, I did get vaccinated, but I don't know if it's going to work. And I'm not like an anti-vaxxer or anything. I just have seen enough of my friends who got vaccinated against HPV then end up getting HPV, so I feel like... Don't worry, they're fine. They all beat it. But I just feel like the vaccine is, we'll see if it works or not. Also 97% of people statistically have had HPV at some point in their life, and I know it's not me, so it's probably all of you here. And probably all of you on the app. Again, everyone gets it. It's fine. I did also get Botox once a very long time ago because I don't know if you know about white ladies. We are not known for aging super well, both physically and personality-wise. Like when you're a white lady, you either die a hoe or you live long enough to see yourself become a Karen. And I'm trying to avoid that as much as possible. I feel like also there's some white ladies here who might get offended by that joke, and I gotta say, you are proving my point. If you want, you can talk to the manager of the show after this, if you'd like. But I'm excited. I'm excited for the launch of this app. This is really cool. Are we tech people here? All of us? Yes? No? Hell yeah. I'm a tech worker too, and I love working in tech because I love working with beta males. And that's not meant to be offensive. It's not, because beta is also like a software engineering term, right? Nerds? So it's not offensive. A beta male is a man that's never had a release. It's a jizz joke, but pay attention to who's laughing, because they make a lot of money. Also consider myself to be a beta female, too, because I'm in desperate need of testing. But I like to be a feminist in like the tech workplace. But I feel like the next wave of feminism in tech is that I should get paid the same to be bad at my job. Because right now, if I'm bad at my job, I'm not only letting my team down, but I'm like also letting all women down, you know. My boss gave me a mug as a gift, and on this mug it said, "Boss Bitch." Here's the thing, I don't want to be a boss bitch. I'm tired. Is there like a mediocre middle manager bitch mug instead? I do not want a corner office. I am good with a half desk in the middle of a noisy open office floor plan with a big poster behind me that says she believed she could, so she did, but then she got tired, so she stopped. How do I get one of those jobs? I haven't had a performance review recently. My boss asked me, she's like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And I was like, right here. Provided you don't fire me. I am not here for the career. I am here for the health insurance and the workplace gossip. Let's keep that clear. Which, you know, thank God for that health insurance. I went to all the doctors recently. That was exciting. I went to the eye doctor recently for the first time in my entire life, because before I had just been using the free eye doctor that they have over at the DMV. And then I went to the real eye doctor, and he was like, bitch, you need glasses. And I was like, no, glasses are for nerds. And I don't wear my glasses, and it's mostly when I'm with men that I don't like to wear my glasses. And it's not that I think that glasses make women look unattractive. I have just learned over time that men look better blurry. I don't need to know how many 8s I have dated that are really 4s. Keep my double vision. Went to the dentist. That was exciting for me because I'm originally from the great state of Ohio, which I tell you so that you know that I was not born with a full set of teeth, technically. And you can't tell by looking at me. It's very business in the front, party in the back. So I went to this dentist and I was like, can I have more teeth, please? He's like, well, the problem is you don't have enough bone in your mouth. And I was like, yeah, I know. It's a theme of the rest of my life. And he's like, no, idiot, you don't have enough bone in your jaw for us to like shove teeth into. So they had to give me a bone graft, which is where they take a very tiny piece of dead man and bury it in your jaw so he doesn't move around, I guess. I don't know. My face is haunted is what I'm trying to say. I've got a graveyard up here. And when he told me that, I was like, oh, that sounds really cool and also really expensive. How much is that? And it was $2,000 for a dead man bone piece. Very tiny, which like, you know your worth, men, but like still, I was like, that seems very inflated for just like the volume of dead men we have around. So I was like, no, we're not doing this the $2,000 way. We're gonna do this the $15 way. I'm going to go to Home Depot and buy a shovel, and we will do like a bring your own dead guy's bone. The only bright side of this is that anytime a guy asks if I want to have a threesome, I get to be like, surprise, we already are. It's not a great joke, but it cost me $2,000, so I'm gonna tell it every single time. I could do therapy. Clearly need it. Do we like therapy people in here? Yeah? And on this app? Comment if you... okay. No, I have decided that I'm not going to therapy because and like any good Christian girl, I am waiting and saving it for marriage. Just feel like I shouldn't have to go to therapy unless I can bring along somebody I can blame. It's a bit of a competitive sport from what I've learned. But I do have a boyfriend, and I'm very grateful for him. I know I was shitting on him earlier. That's just because we've been together inside for a whole year. And we did nothing. We stayed inside and put on weight like heroes. We like good people. You know, if anyone left quarantine in better shape than when they started, like, they were bad people, okay? They were going to the gym. They were going on runs and coughing all over people. They weren't supposed to do that. Does anyone have any nerds rocking these step tracker watches? Yeah? So I've been telling my boyfriend I've been trying to get back in shape, which was a lie. And then he got me this fucking snitch to wear on my wrist. And it tells him when I am not working out, even though I say I am. I thought this thing was going to help me get in shape. But all we use these for is to compare heart rates after sex. So that we can prove who worked harder. That person gets to be on the bottom next time. It is data-driven decision-making. I hope you come home to Ireland at the end of your time. So I say to you all, thank you so much for being here. Cheers, and I hope you die on SoundBird, I guess. Anyway, enjoy the rest of the show. Thanks so much for having me. And with that said, I'm going to bring up your final comic of the evening. He is super funny. He's been in Sketchfest. He runs a lot of great shows. So please make it very loud for the very funny Jordan Thulis.
Hey, Brooke Heineken, everybody. Keep it going for all the comedians you saw tonight, today, this afternoon. Some of you might recognize me from right over there. Yep, and then I snuck around to this side to give the illusion of performance. So here I am. But I still have my cool, back of the room energy, it didn't go to my head. So, we're almost just, making up stuff to worry about. Remember AI? You never hear about AI anymore. People were so afraid. People were scared that robots were going to take away their jobs, which is weird that they were afraid of that, because wasn't that the whole point of robots? Was they going to do the work for us? Yeah. How did we get to the point where somebody's like, hey, you don't have to work anymore, and we're like, no! Brainwashed. Do you think when the car was invented and they broke the news to the horse, they're like, hey, this just in, the cart can pull itself. Do you think the horse was like, oh, no, the horse is like, that's perfect. I didn't even like getting whipped. I'm just going to go eat grass, says the horse. More horse jokes? Okay. Will do. Do you guys think that horse cops know that they're cops? Like the horses. Do you think they trot around with a sense of authority and superiority? Or do you think sometimes they're walking and they're like, guys, I had a cop on my back, watch out! I'm not doing anything wrong, officer, normal horse stuff. Just clip clop, where's the hay? I don't know. Do you guys think that? I'll check the comments, see if anybody thinks that. I see test. Anyone think that? That almost came out right. Now it looks like Lance typed something too quickly. Do you guys think that actor horses from old Civil War movies, like the ones on set, do you think that they know that they're in a movie? Or do they think that they're in horse war? Like somebody's like, charge! And they're like, for my daughter! Anybody think that? Do you guys think that a horse ever looks at a rhinoceros and goes like, damn? Okay, that's it for that one. Okay. We've had enough of that. I've been listening to a lot of podcasts this last year. Y'all like podcasts? Oh, yeah. I love podcasts. I think the reason I like podcasts so much is because I'm so ready to outsource the role of the voice in my head. Because that guy does a terrible job. Anyone else can come in and do better. Ira Glass from This American Life never just brings up all of my mistakes, He's a more responsible narrator.